Lip treatment or lip oil jelly?
I mean, that's like asking me to choose which kid I like
I
better.
know, right? This is Obsessions With, and I'm Ty Haney. It's a podcast, a vlogcast? Where I interview close friends of mine and the founders building the most successful and most loved brands and businesses today, where we focus on their obsessions, what they're most obsessed with in their personal lives, the core obsession that drove them to create their businesses in the first place. Our next guest is Amy Liu, founder and CEO of Tower 28, the beauty brand that made eczema-friendly makeup cool. Come with me to Los Angeles for Obsessions with Amy, where we go behind the scenes at Tower 28's newest top secret product shoot. We are with Amy from Tower 28 for Obsessions With, and we're on set today shooting
For something secret, but it is launching later this year, and it is our biggest launch of the year.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay, cool. I was in the car with someone from your team, and she was telling me about something buzzy, the next product.
This is something that we're launching very soon. It is called, we have our original Shine On Lip Jelly, and because this product has gone so well and been so beloved, we decided to make a plumping version.
Okay,
So you can,
and how does it plump?
So most lip plumpers plump, I don't know if you know this, but with like tea tree oil, cinnamon, essential oils that essentially
Like an activator.
Well, they quite literally work to irritate your lip in an effort to make your blood circulate and bring that plumping forward, but it does it by irritating your lip. So you also hear things like snake venom, and I mean, it's just like a lot of ingredients that quite literally irritate.
And that's the opposite of your thing.
Yes, and they also create like it's almost like a burning or a stinging sensation, which some people like. That's fine. I think as somebody who has really had sensitive skin, I never thought we would make a lip plumper because of those things, because that's literally what it's made out of. And actually what we ended up doing is we borrowed from kind of the intimate world. And if you look at like lubricants, essentially, they use that same idea of like plumping sensation, but they do it with like a vibration, which is a plant-based ingredient, and it is actually very good for sensitive skin. And so we put that in here.
Tell me, so it's called vibration, or it is a vibration?
It is a feeling of vibration that literally does plump the
That is
skin,
so cool.
and it's the same thing that you find in kind of a certain line of natural lubricants.
It's like a little tingly, etc.
It's tingling and vibrating as opposed to stinging and burning.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
If that
so
makes
cool.
sense.
And these are them.
Yeah.
And your head of product said, "Do not take them."
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I might, buddy.
Only because it's so early.
Right. No, I love it. Amazing. Okay, super cool. And these come out next month.
Yeah, and they're super like wearable, really like shiny and plumping, just like a lip gloss.
What are you wearing right now?
I'm actually wearing Wild. I'm not wearing that right now.
Okay.
I'm wearing this one, which is my favorite.
It looks juicy and delicious.
It is juicy and delicious. We should give you some product.
Heard it here first, baby. Yes. No, I ordered from your 2IB shop recently. I got some pencils.
Yay! I mean, honestly, we'll give you more. Have you tried our concealer?
No, I haven't.
It is the #1 selling concealer at Sephora at Kohl's and Sephora Canada, and we're #3 in Sephora US. But it is honestly so good. And we'll shade match you so that we can get you.
Amazing. You're blowing up. Do you need to take it?
I know.
You're like,
It's spam risk, so no, but it's making noise.
Cool. Let's find a spot to sit. Does that work?
Okay.
Obviously, you're the amazing founder of Tower 28.
Yes.
And I heard it's your 7th anniversary?
Yeah, we just celebrated our 7th anniversary.
Amazing. It feels like it's been a rocket ship. You were just telling me how successful you've been at Sephora and in this clean beauty space.
Yeah.
Talk to me about going from, was it 20 years? A good chapter of your life kind of in corporate, and then the spark to like begin your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you put those two things together, because people often say to me, "What's it like to have like an overnight success?" And that's actually what I think about. Is I've been doing this. I've been working in the beauty industry for 23 years now, so it doesn't feel like an overnight success. It feels like I've been doing this for a long time. But I started Tower 28 when I was 40. And so I had a lot of work experience before I started, and it has gone pretty quickly since then. But I think so much of that is because, I kind of cut my teeth for a long time in the work.
Was the beauty industry kind of what you stepped into from going from school, et cetera?
Yeah, I've only had one other job.
Okay.
I worked at Accenture right out of college, which was like sort of one of those like I don't know, one of those jobs that you get because you're like, I don't know what else to do with my
Right,
life,
yeah.
but I want like
A little
to have
holding
some,
tank.
yeah, kind of. And then I went back to business school, and since I was in business school, I've done nothing but beauty.
And as you think back to yourself as a little kid, like, does entrepreneurship and kind of like being enterprising exist?
Sure, and I'm sure it's true for you too.
Yeah.
I feel like entrepreneurs are kind of always entrepreneurs, even from the time that they're young. And for me, I was always one of those people who was trying to like do a lemonade stand, like the classic idea, but also like I was trying to figure out how to like, you know, if you came to my house at any point, I had like little stickers on all of my stuffed animals because I was like, you could buy one. You know,
God, I love it. Yeah,
like,
right.
I just was always kind of a hustler,
amazing.
like always trying to figure out how to like make money. And I think a lot of it goes back to just like wanting to have a sense of like control or my own agency, or like I always wanted to make my own money, and I didn't want to like, I don't know, be reliant on someone else.
And was your family that way? Like growing up, any of your parents?
My dad was an entrepreneur,
Okay.
But I think he would say that he was an entrepreneur out of necessity and not because he had like this like crazy desire to do it, right? My parents immigrated from Taiwan, and so English was very much a second language for them. And I think they felt like, both of them felt like they couldn't get like, my mom had a job, like a corporate job. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he did it because he felt like he couldn't like really get anywhere working for someone else when English was the second language the same way.
Yeah.
And so he was really successful on his own. And I think what I saw was the difference in my parents, where my mom kind of went to work and came home. She didn't really talk about it. It was just like a 9 to 5 for her.
And could kind of check out.
Check in, check out. She never talked about it. And clearly didn't love it. And my dad, like, I saw him with all the highs and the lows. Like, he loved it, but he also, like, it made him crazy. You know what I mean? Like, all of the things. And I kind of was like, I want that. I want to, like, really care about what I do. And I think that's true. Like, I really care. It's like my fourth child.
Right. And beauty in particular, were you always attracted to it? I know that you had skin issues.
I've had eczema from the time I was like basically like right when I started college.
Okay.
So it's been a long time that I've had eczema, but I think I've also had kind of a complicated relationship with beauty myself. Like, I think growing up in a time where I didn't see myself in aspirational images of what beauty looked like, because again, like, I was born in Minnesota. I grew up in predominantly really white communities, and in a time when really, like, there just weren't Asian people in pop culture. And so I just didn't feel, I hate to say it, like, pretty, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel like yourself in it. And I would say in addition to that, like, my mom cared a lot about beauty. She cared it, but she also wasn't like, I remember her coming home and she would always have like the gift with purchase from like Clinique or whatever, but she was like not really sharing it with me. Like, maybe I would get like and so it was almost like this like forbidden fruit to me, where I like wanted to be, you know, I like loved beauty and I wanted it, but I couldn't really like have it until I was able to like make my own money. And so I think I always had like the real fascination with it.
That's so cool. And how long did you spend, was it at L'Oreal?
I started my career at Maybelline, which is part of L'Oreal, and then I went to Smashbox Cosmetics, Kate Somerville, Josie Maran, and then I consulted for a while, and I started Tower 28.
And like throughout those years, were you like, I'm for sure going to do my own thing, or was it
when I was in business school, I majored in entrepreneurship, and it's funny because I told everybody there, I was like, one day I'm going to start my own company. One day I'm going to start my own company, and I told myself, like, I'm going to go work for someone else and I'm going to learn on someone else's dime. And I did that. And I kind of, if you look at my career, I went from like bigger company to smaller company, but then my role kept getting bigger at those companies. And I kept getting closer to like the founder, having a seat at the table. And I thought like, okay, I'm learning. And then when I hit 40, a friend of mine was like, are you going to do it or not? You've been saying you were going to do this.
Great friend.
Since you were like, you know, however old.
Yeah.
And I went to business school with him, and he's like, you literally majored in entrepreneurship. Him and I were both like the co-presidents of the entrepreneurship club. And he did it. And I didn't. And he was like, you have been saying this. Like, you're 40, either you're going to do it or you're not. And I was like, shit, that's real, you know? Real. And so that was really kind of like the swift kick in the butt that got me going.
What's his name? He sounds awesome.
Yeah. His name's Charles.
I love it. That's amazing. Okay, super cool. When you start to think about building this from scratch, obviously you had some background with eczema, et cetera. what at the time like felt most compelling in terms of positioning, and kind of fast forward today, my observation is like Gen Z is obsessed. Like the fun, the creativity, the color, like just the ability to express is just like very palpable.
Oh, thank you.
But like bring me back to kind of origination days.
I mean, the goal is honestly, and the mission has always been the same. It was always like, how can I make products that are clean, safe for sensitive skin, good for you, but then also give you everything that you want in beauty, which I think is still like fun. It's aspiration. It's like the ability to almost like transport you into a different world and to give you that like, you know, like when you pull something out that you feel cool using it. And it almost to me is like, I don't know, my kids used to eat this like pizza from Fresh Brothers where you could like pay $3 extra and you put the vegetables in it. That to me was always like the same idea. It's like, how do I give you something that's good for you, but like wrap a bow on it that makes you feel like happy and cool. Like this is that version of it for me. Yeah. So from the very beginning, it was the same. Like our products are the only brand that is 100% compliant with the National Eczema Association. And that's really based on obviously my own experience having eczema, but it's also like, I want people to feel safe and like they can trust the products. And I always felt like, especially when you're talking about complexion products, you want to wear things that will cover up your skin issues, but then you are so afraid it's going to make your skin issue worse. Right? Because if you go to a doctor, they're like, stop wearing makeup. Right. If you have any type of skin issue. And I was like, oh God. And I think that kind of stress makes you feel worse, but then you want that short term, like I have skin issues, I want to cover them. And so it just made sense. So from the very beginning, the goal was always the same. We make products that are clean, safe for sensitive skin, but also high performance. I think with all my background in beauty, I just knew like the product has to work. Yeah, totally. I'm also friends with a ton of celebrity makeup artists. So like it had to make sense, you know? And so I'm always looking to solve a problem with the products we make and not just like put more product into the world. And so you're like deeply in the product development kind of end-to-end process. Yes. And I imagine it costs a lot to like do all that testing. Like from my own experience, I know testing is not cheap. It's like between $150,000 and $250,000 per product. Yeah. Wow. But like that's part of the stamp and kind of like commitment to this. Yeah, it's part of the stamp and the commitment, and it's also part of I think where you hopefully feel the trust from it too. So like it's the testing that we do, but it's also everything that we avoid in it, and it's the seals, and like we really invest in it because we want people. And it's the time, frankly. Like, it takes time to do all of those things. Yeah. So we actually have, like, longer lead times than other people do because we have to account for those things. Right. As we think about your kids, you have 3? I have 3. I have a 17, 15, and 11. And remind me, girl, boy? Boy, girl, girl. Boy, girl, girl. In terms of modeling behavior for them, what do you think about kind of with them looking at you kind of starting this from scratch, having your own company. Yeah, I love growing it big. Yeah, tell me. I love that question, especially from a fellow mom who's also an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you're doing a great job of this too. But I really try to include my kids on the journey. I like, I think sometimes people treat their kids as like so separate, or they try to shield them. And I would say like my kids really know a lot about my business. They understand that this is like a dream of mine. I try to really make sure that they don't feel guilty. Like I don't say things like I'm doing this for you, for your future. Because I think some people like when they experience hardship do that. And I want them to know that like, I want them to know and see their mom trying, right? Whatever the outcome is. And I also try to make them work. Like if my kids walk into a Sephora, they know how to go into that Sephora, restock the shelves, clean that shit up. Sorry, why am I cursing? No, they know how to clean it up. They know how to like, go to the staff and say like, hey, is it okay if I clean this? Like I love my kids know what to do. They know what's up. Like if you see our little like SOS mascot, like I would say at least half of the time it's one of my kids inside of it, like working. So good. And like, I just want them to know that like this life that they get to lead, which like, my kids don't have to worry about like where the next meal is coming from. But that happens because of hard work, right? And I want them to know that like whatever it is that their dreams are, like they have to work towards them. Yeah. I love it. That's so cool. Similarly, one of my companies, Joggy, the energy drink. Yeah. Whenever they see Red Bull, they're like, no, Red Bull's not you. Like people holding Red Bull, they'll be like, dump it out. And it's the cutest thing in the world. And it makes them feel proud. Yeah. Like they feel like they're on the journey with you. Right. And when you hear that kind of, I just repeated back to you, it's in their own version, it's pretty special. Yeah, for sure. Like the integration feels important. For sure. What's the hardest part right now? I mean, I'm sure you would agree the hardest part is always people. It's like, how do you grow? So now, like, we grew really fast. And how do you keep culture? How do you keep center? How do you keep your values? How do you, like, with every person you add, how do you make sure that they understand, like, your heart and what you wanted, the purpose and the point?
Your husband works at Tower?
My husband works for me.
Yeah.
He is our CFO.
I love that. Do you call it Tower, or what do you call it?
We
Tower
call
28?
it Tower 28, Tower, or T28.
Okay.
It's like anything. I have like 3 nicknames.
Right. At TYB, we call it T28 now, but I was like,
Yeah, we say T28 too. Like,
yeah, okay, cool. And the name comes from, it's a sweet story.
Yeah, it's a true story. So it's a real lifeguard tower at the intersection of Santa Monica and Venice. I've lived on the west side for a really long time now.
Okay, still do.
Still do. And I've kind of lived up and down the coast. And like, to me, the beach is like, I don't know, it's like my happy place. It's like where I go. The reason I live in LA is like the beach and my friends and family. But it's this meaningful place to me because I always felt like the beach was this place everybody gets to enjoy a healthy and clean lifestyle. And it's this idea that, like, I think everybody should be able to access it. So we intentionally have our products very entry-level price point in a prestige environment. Like, I wanted you to be able to, like, go shop at Sephora and carry the little black and white bag, but yet our lip gloss is $16.
Right, okay.
And the average lip gloss is like $26. So it's like significantly different. And we do that by spending money on we don't really spend that much money on components, but we spend as much as everyone else does on the stuff on the inside.
Right, okay.
And so that's kind of how I think about it. But going back to Tower 28, the reason the name happened was, and I'm sure you've done this, but like, it's so hard to name something. If you want like the domain and you want the handle and like the trademark or anything, right? And there's so many people that squat on things and it's just hard.
Like, pay me, baby.
Pay me, yes. And so then, so the true story was a friend of mine, Pam, sent me this text and she's like, we're all going to the beach, meet me at Tower 28. And I was like, wait, is that it?
Really? It like imprinted on you like that?
Well, to be honest with you,
That's so cool.
I went on like GoDaddy by myself. I went on GoDaddy. I did like a quick search, and I was like, okay, it's available. I'll just buy it. And then I just sat on it for a minute, and I was like, is a trademark available? Is a domain? Like and then I like kept looking, and then I got. You get used to something. You're like, is this it? And to me, it's so perfect because again, like, what that lifeguard tower hopefully evokes in an imagery way is the same thing that I want the product to, which is a sense of like safety, a sense of trust that you get to like play at the beach or you get to be part of the conversation, but like under the umbrella of knowing that we've really cared for your sensitive skin.
I love it. And I think holding kind of in concert with each other, like the seriousness of clean and kind of the rigor and discipline around that. With this explosion of fun, it feels to me like your personality is that way of it.
Yeah, I mean,
true?
don't you? I bet all the things you've done are sort of an expression of yourself.
Yeah,
too.
but I like it's a very perfect combination of it. Without kind of knowing the backstory, you wouldn't obviously be like there's so much science and testing and kind of rigor and commitment to the clean and safe.
No, and actually that is both like that's a hard part of it too, is like how do you communicate two things at the same time that feel almost counterintuitive, because most clean, safer, sensitive brands are like kind of boring.
Look and feel that way,
or they have like a lot of, they feel super clinical, they feel super, so a lot of it is, I don't know that everybody knows all the hard work that we put into the products, but I do know so many people, and honestly, it's like one of my favorite things is when someone like, is probably two. Like the people who say to me, like, I've never been able to wear makeup, finally, or skincare, like this saved my skin. And they really know, like they're people who have very sensitive skin and deeply suffer. And then like people on the other side of the gamut, which are like Katie Jane Hughes is a pretty famous celebrity makeup artist. And I remember she had been using our products for a while and I became pretty good friends with her. And she was like, wait, I had no idea this was her sensitive skin. I just thought it was like good makeup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like that, both are super flattering.
That's pretty
to
cool.
me.
Yeah, I love that. With everything that you're running and immersed in, how do you find ways, or do you need to find ways to kind of tap out or find things that you're like personally into outside of work, outside of kids.
Yeah.
Is it possible right now?
You tell me.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think everybody has their thing. I think for me, it's like my family. I think it's just knowing, like, my husband's pretty good about telling me, like, hey, if this all went away, we'd be okay.
Right.
And, like, I don't know if you get like that, but I mean, there's definitely times where I'm like, wow, like, this is hard. Like, but then you think, you're like, what's
Constantly,
the worst?
yeah.
You're like, what is the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah, and that's not going to happen right now.
Yes,
so,
and
yeah.
like that, it's just, but like if you throw yourself into like the very
Most
worst of it, the
extreme.
most extreme, and you're still okay, then you're like, okay.
Yeah,
I think so much of life is like perspective.
Totally.
And, you know, I think every time I like, and listen, I definitely have moments where I'm like, this is hard. I feel sorry for myself. And then there's times where I'm like, oh my God, like, what a privilege.
What do you think, like, maybe it's one word, but the core motivation is? Like, when you think of having that privilege, what keeps you driving at this?
I think about this a lot, actually. I think that for me, honestly, the thing that keeps driving me is like anytime I feel like I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's honestly, it's like the people. It's so it's the same answer to the thing that you said is the hardest thing.
Pain in the ass, but the best.
The best, right? It's like whether you're talking about the employees, the retailers, the customer, and the customer, and the customer. It's like I was just at a party this past weekend, and this woman came up to me and she was like, I knew you were going to be here because we have this mutual friend. And she was like, my daughter, like, loves you, loves your brand.
So
She's
cool.
like, I walked into her room and she had this, like, love letter written on her whiteboard. She didn't know that, like, you and I had a mutual friend. And I told her I was going to meet you. And she wrote you a letter. And can I give it to you?
Oh, my God, I love it.
And
Yeah,
it was
so sweet.
So sweet. And this, like, little girl that I don't know took the time to like draw pictures and write this thing, and I like literally took it back and I read it to my team, and like I don't want to sound whatever, but like this happens.
No, it's
a fair amount.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? And we have these people who like, and it's not just young people, it's older people. It's like kind of everything, and in a way that you're almost surprised. You're like, I didn't know this thing that I put out there would mean so much to other people, and it would help them so much.
Yeah.
And I think when you really feel like, I'm sure you feel this too, like when you put something in the world and it like, and people have that affinity for it, or it like really helps them in some way, there's kind of nothing like that that can feel quite that same. It's almost like feeling seen, right? Like you put someone in the world and they see the thing that you were trying to do.
Yeah, and reflect it back a bit.
And reflect it back to you. There's like nothing quite like it.
Yeah, I feel that. I also think you put yourself out there like so authentically. Yeah. And it's hard not to feel an emotional connection in a way, which ultimately is sticky. Obviously, I hounded you for many years to like
I
join
respect
TYB.
it.
I was like,
by the way,
I
really respect it. And and the whole time, just so you know, the whole time, the question was never like, should we do it? It was like, which one of you are going to do it?
Right, of course.
Because it has to be managed.
I respect that on that side too, but more importantly, like there's high evidence of community, and even when you guys stood up a wait list, when you were launching your TYB community, it was like 22,000 or something.
Which still shocks me.
Which is incredible.
Wild. Yeah.
But I guess like you operate in this very pioneering way that it's like you're comfortable with that closeness and these stories you have closeness to. When you think of community with Tower, where do you start first?
So every year we go to the National Eczema Association's Expo, which I don't know if you know what this is, but I'm on the board of the National Eczema Association now too. And they host this expo, which is essentially like the coming together of the biggest population of eczema sufferers in the world.
Wow.
So it's like, think of it as caretakers, people who suffer, doctors, the people who take care of them from like a professional standpoint and from a personal standpoint, and then the people. And so thousands of people come together, and we hosted a little booth, and we also hosted a scholarship. So you have to pay to come in, you also have to pay for your stay and everything else. So we hosted a scholarship for about 50 people. And we got there and we were hosting this little trade, kind of like a booth thing, and I didn't know it, but the National Eczema Association went out to the 50 people that we gave scholarships to, and they said, at like 2 o'clock, meet Amy at the booth. And they kind of did it as a surprise. Yeah. And they don't know each other, but they all came together, and they came with all of these like stories, and I mean, I was crying, they were crying. It was like this, I don't know how to describe how it felt, but like when you say to me community to me is like when you find your people. And it was the idea that like we could be in a position to put these things into the world that they could see themselves in. Like I heard, like one of the girls told me this story about how the mom she wouldn't let her use anything. No makeup, no skincare, like really bland, everything really like Cetaphil and kind of nothing, because she just suffers so much. And she got invited, she was like, you know, to a slumber party or something, and everybody was asked to bring a piece of product. It was almost like they were supposed to share with each other.
A beauty potluck.
A beauty potluck. They were all supposed to do something like that. And she was like, Mom, I can't show up empty-handed, and you won't let me use anything. And so she went to Sephora, and she's like, I don't know what to do. What can I bring? And they were like, bring the SOS spray. Like, it's whatever. Told her all about it. And she went there, and it was literally like, she was the one that had the most, like she was the coolest one there.
And it totally transformed.
And it fixed her skin, all these things. And like hearing both like the mom, and she's like, what you did for my daughter, and then having the daughter there and telling me that story. Like, I just think there's something there about, if you don't feel good about yourself, you don't strive. You don't strive for the date. You don't strive for the job. You don't strive for, you know, because you don't feel good about yourself. And so I really think there is something to like, how can I give that to people? And then how can I like, and I love something like TYB because it's like, how can you help them find each other?
Right. Yeah, and then spark bonds amongst themselves, etc.
Totally. And I think it's like whatever you can do to do that for someone or make them feel proud that they are part of your community.
Right.
And that you're holding them. I just think we live in this world right now that is so, I don't know, so disconnected and polarizing that like people are really, they want that connection. You're literally encouraging people to share.
Right, and closeness of that. And like it becomes kind of the hub for these authentic kind of like real customer generated stories that then other people learn from. This I heard, does it sell, how often does this sell?
I think it's like it's either 9 or 11 seconds, 10.
That is, did you ever dream of that?
No, I did not dream of this. I mean, it literally is an antibacterial, anti-inflammatory product, but the thing is, it's 100% natural and 100% gentle, so it really does work. But like, I always say, like, it might not do anything for you, but it might do everything for you. Meaning, like, it can't hurt you.
Right.
So if you have great skin, I don't know if it would really like change your skin.
Yeah.
But if you sweat, for instance, and you work out, like when you sweat, it literally, the sweat, when it sits on your skin, within that 15 to 30 minutes after you sweat, it changes the pH of your skin. And when that happens, it compromises your skin barrier. So depending on what your skin is like, maybe your skin's like fine. Right. But for most people, like in that 15 to 30 minutes, if they don't like clean their face or they don't like spray it, it can really compromise the skin barrier, and that can create breakouts, that can create an exacerbation of if you have like an eczema or an acne or anything like that.
And so are your kids, I imagine they're all in on this stuff?
They're all in on it, but even this one, like all three, even for the boys. And like, I mean, my daughter who plays lacrosse, she was wearing the goggles, right? And like the lacrosse goggles sit on her face with sweat on them. Right. And like, we literally took her to go see Sophie Pavitt, who's like an esthetician.
We just saw her,
Oh, you did?
In New York last week.
I love Sophie. And so we literally took her to go see Sophie because Sophie's a friend. And Sophie was like, okay, tell me about your routine. What are you using? And she was using great products, right? She was using Sophie's Mandelic. She was using her SOS, right? And she was okay.
Does she have irritation or acne?
And she had acne in this area. Yeah. And Sophie was like, do you ever wash those goggles that you wear? Yeah. And she was like, no, I've never washed the lacrosse goggles. But yet she's like wearing them. And so then she started spraying the goggles and she started spraying her face right after because, you know, how many times do you exercise and then you're like, oh, I'll go to farmer's market, oh, I'll go whatever. And you just don't do any of those. You don't wash your face.
So you're sitting with this. And it's
and depending on where your skin type is, but I think especially for like people who play sports and sweat, if you are prone to breaking out, that is like the most sensitive time.
Yeah. I mean, she must feel like the coolest kid ever with this in her lacrosse bag. Like, my mama's stuff.
I mean, I'm still her mom, right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I feel like I read somewhere, or maybe on social, that you're into psychics.
I am.
I recently went to one, and
You did?
I forget specifically what I asked him, but he's like, "You'll know when you see 3 oranges." So I'm like, "Could we hurry this up?" It's been like a year and I haven't seen it, but I'm waiting. But I'm curious, like, are you into that shit?
Oh, I'm super into it. So I grew up with a dad who was an entrepreneur, and he would go see psychics. And what he would tell me is that he would say, like, when you're an entrepreneur, it's like that lonely on the top concept. And that you just want to know everything's going to be okay. Yeah. And, like, the way I think about it is, like, it's not that I believe everything they're going to say necessarily, but I really pay attention to if it resonates or not. Like, if they tell me good news or bad news, like, and generally I don't feel like most of them tell you bad news, but they'll say things, and I really think about, like, how did I immediately react to it? Did I feel like, oh, I want to do that, or I don't want to do it?
Oh, interesting.
And as opposed to, like, let me just take what you're saying as, Bible. So I use it, I kind of think of it as like fast therapy, like really efficient therapy. Like, I don't have to talk. You're going to tell me, and then I'm going to be like, how did I feel about that?
Right, I love it. Do you go routinely?
I don't have like a routine. Okay. And actually it's funny you say that, because I tend to go around my birthday, and my birthday's coming up and I don't have anything planned. So if you liked this psychic, you should tell me.
Yes.
I have a hard time turning down a referral.
Okay.
And
I have a good one. My mom is really into this, so I have a lot on speed dial.
Nice. Okay. So I do, but I don't have like a regular thing where I do it, because I don't want to be one of those people that it's not like my crutch or anything like that, but I do find it fascinating. Yeah.
Amazing. Last question. As we think about Tower 28, 5 to 10 years from now, do you know what your dreams are, kind of casting forward, or similar kind of approach where each day will compound? And
I feel like this is such a timely question, because I've been thinking a lot about these things lately, like the whole what do I want kind of thing. And I think I always said I wanted, and I believe this, I want the brand to live beyond me. Cool. And I want, honestly, I don't think it's anything different than what we are today. It's more like, now I'm realizing it's harder to keep it as you grow. You know what I mean? Like that heartbeat of who we are and the values of it, and the way that we're able to connect with the community and the people who like love us, and just to do it at scale. Like, how do you do that when you're in Dubai? Do you know what I mean? Like, does the person in Dubai know, maybe they know what the product is and does, but do they understand like what, and maybe that's enough, I don't know. Right. But like, I just think there's so much of it where I do really hope that the person who suffers the most from these skin issues. I mean, listen, I think because of the price point, and we're at Sephora, I'm sure we grab a lot of people who don't know anything. Yeah. And that's okay, that's great. But the goal was always to be like almost like a love letter to the younger version of me in some sense. Yeah. Or even the today version of me, right? Like, because we're not, like, we're age agnostic, but just like the idea that, like, I really feel like I understand what it's like to have troubled skin. And I really do hope that that person has an option. I love it. Thank you for having us. Yeah. Oh my God, thank you. I know, I can't believe we have This is Obsessions With, and I'm Ty Haney. It's a podcast, a vlogcast, where I interview close friends of mine and the founders building the most successful and most loved brands and businesses today.